Welcome to Mojave KY. Thanks so much for joining us today. Hey, what are we going to look at today? So we are going to take these dirty rims on this TJ here, and we are going to polish them. Not going to lie, this job takes a lot more time than I thought it would, but these rims have been on this Jeep for a very long time. So this is my process for polishing these rims. This isn't my process for daily cleaning of these rims. You'll see what they look like when they're clean, and you'll see why I wanted to polish them. So, warning here, right? When you polish your rims, you can absolutely destroy the finish. So be careful, follow the instructions. I'm not telling you to do anything specific. I'm not an expert here, but if I was polishing my rims for the first time, I would definitely consult someone who's an expert, and that isn't this guy. So listen, we're gonna use a lot of products on this rim, on all of the rims, obviously. Given that it's a Jeep, there's 5 rims. So that was a bit of a surprise in my brain. I don't know why, but it took me a second to realize that I had an extra rim still to do, the one on the back. It wasn't as bad, and it is a little easier to get to since it's at your kind of waist level and you don't have to bend down and work on it for a couple hours. And that's honestly what this is gonna take. For these rims, with how complicated the pattern was, it took an hour and a half a rim. Not kidding, but the results look really good. A lot of it ended up having to be hand done. You'll see I have a polishing tool in there, and I'll talk about that in the polishing section, but it took a long time. So let's just generally talk about my thought process when I was going through this and getting to the final product. So these rims, I don't know how old they are. They were on there when my father bought the Jeep years ago. So they've been on there at least that long. They're definitely oxidized. I talked to some people before attempting this, and they said the only way to get that level of oxidation off is polish. I'll clean them fully, and you'll see it in the video. So we'll clean and wash them, and it'll make, a marginal difference in terms of the cloudiness in the rim. And you really should see in this rim, you should see a mirror finish. And we do get to that mirror finish. The rim is damaged, right? So on the inside of the rim, you will see pot marks and little marks that kind of stand up, and those are just not coming out with a polish. And if I did polish those off, it would take the finish off probably around them, and I didn't want to do that. But generally speaking, what are we gonna do, right? So we're going to wash the tire. So we're gonna get the tire clean and get all that brake dust and stuff off the tire. We're going to wash the rim. So I have some products to wash the rim. We are then going to, obviously in between those steps, you're gonna rinse it off. The next step is, and you can or don't have to take this step, is I used Dino Wax Serum, and that is just an iron remover. So in some products that you may use, if you're using a serum or something like this, you spray that on, you let it sit, and kind of purplish stuff appears, scrub that stuff off. I just wanted to make sure that I had any kind of little iron pieces or any of that kind of stuff off the rim before I put a polisher on a drill bit, right, and started rubbing that polish on there. Now I'm using Dino Wax products. They are a sponsor of the channel. I only get a discount on the products, so they don't give me the products for free. I still have to purchase them. I just get to purchase them at a discount. Obviously, you guys can purchase at a discount below as well. 15% off your orders of $50 or more. So in this one, I'm using Dino Wax's polish number 2, their cleaning polish. I believe for rims, they suggest something a bit more abrasive, but I was uncomfortable trying something more abrasive, and I got good results. Potentially, if I used something more abrasive, maybe I would have got the results quicker. Maybe that's what took so long. I just think these rims were really really oxidized and really needed that much time after the amount of years of not being cleaned properly. Then at the end, we'll put rim job on it. If you guys aren't familiar with rim job, sorry, so many jokes there if you're not familiar with the rim job. Anyway, just think of it as a wax. So it gives you that kind of final protection. You're putting it on. That takes time too, right? You'll see the rim's really intricate in its design, and it just takes a long time putting anything on and off a rim, and then multiply that by 5. All right, so what are the products that we're using? So we're gonna use Adams Tire and Rubber. I just haven't found anything that gets off the grime better than Adams Tire and Rubber. They're not a sponsor. I'd love to have a Dino Wax product that did the same thing, but I've just never seen anything on the actual rubber that gets it off that well. On the wheel itself, we're gonna use Chemical Guy's Diablo. The Diablo Gel, you do dilute that down, so you get a bit more than you think you would. But the Diablo Gel is pretty kind in the sense that it's not great for real dirty rim, but it was good to just kind of clean this off. And actually on a couple of the rims, I used it 2 times. So I used it to clean it. Then I used the Dino Wax serum to get the iron off. And then I used it again to clean it, right? So I did a lot of steps here. And again, you can choose to follow them or not. This is really just showing you how nice this looks before and after. I'm not trying to tell you how to do this job. I'm telling you and showing you how I did this job. So once you've used that Diablo Gel, again, you can dilute it so you get a lot out of it. You'll use the Serum Prep. So we went Diablo Gel to the Serum Prep. The Serum Prep, I just sprayed it on everywhere, right? Sprayed it on the barrel, sprayed it all around. Just kind of making sure to try to get it everywhere that some of that iron might be sitting and try and get some of that off. You let that sit, then agitate it with a soft brush, and then rinse that off. So just a few of the brushes that you'll see me use. So I have a lug nut brush. I don't use that every time, so I'll be honest. But it's a nice small brush. You can get it right in the lug nuts and just kind of twist and clean, right? I use a stiffer brush just to get on the rubber itself. And then I use a softer brush for the wheel and any of the kind of shiny bits on this one. So those are the brushes you'll see, as well as I have a barrel brush. So the barrel brush is exactly what it is. You stick it through the spokes on the wheel and clean that barrel of the tire. I know when I used to have a Corvette, some of the Corvette guys literally would take their tires off. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I have when my tire has been off, then I take the time to clean that barrel, but there's no way I'm freaking taking these off just to do this job. So you might see some of those brushes during this time, wondering what those are. And I believe most of those brushes either came from Adams or they came from Dino Wax. So once we've cleaned the tire, you'll see, all rinsed off. The tires clean, scrubbed, rinsed off. The wheels clean, serumed, scrubbed, rinse off. You'll see here that it still just doesn't look great, right? And that was the bummer, right? You wash the Jeep, you get the dirt off, you want the car to look really good, and then you look at the rims and they just disappoint. They're cloudy, hazy, oxidized, and they just look terrible. So that's what we're going through on to the next step. Now that we have it clean and dry, so I did dry it in between, we started the polish. So I just took the drill and the drill bit. So it's called the Ball Buster. So it seems like we have a theme going here. It's called the Ball Buster. I did get it from Chemical Guys. It's honestly why I ordered the Diablo at the same time, was just to try it because I've never tried it before. It's not my favorite, but anyway, I'll probably use it until I'm finished with it. so it's not terrible, but I got it at the same time. The ball buster from Chemical Guys is just a bit, fits on the end. It's squishy, you'll see. It's pretty big, you know, about the size of, I don't know, a grapefruit, something like that. And it does kind of form fit, so it goes through the spokes. The problem is that the spokes on mine and probably yours are kind of like a triangle. So where does it miss? It misses up at the top, it misses down at the bottom, misses all the corners. And on this rim, right, there's a lot of corners, and it's a pain. So you can use the tip of it, again, all these references. You can use the tip of it, and you can kind of set it on the edge and let the drill just sit and spin. It sort of does it. It helps get it a little bit more so that you don't have to hand do it. But there was no getting around it. Microfiber towel, putting some on the end, putting it on the end of my finger, and just scrubbing back and forth was the only way to get some spots. Multiplied by how complex this rim is, your finger joints start to hurt, and it just really adds a lot of time to this. So I'm saying about 90 minutes a rim is what it took. The rear one wasn't as dirty, the one that's on the very back. That one was much faster and easier again to clean, but it took me that long. It could take you a lot less, right? You could be happier, your rim could be less dirty than mine, or it could take you a lot longer. You're way more of a perfectionist than I am, and you really wanted to get all of those spots. I did not. At some point, I just said, no, you know, it's as good and it's gonna get for me, but you may disagree. The part you won't disagree on is it looks a tremendous amount better now than it did. And now when I'm driving around and people look at the Jeep, I actually get in some stares, and I knew it because those rims. We drove in to O'Reilly's, and I saw a Mustang, and his Mustang was all cleaned and looking good, and he looked over at the Jeep, eyes straight at the rims. I was not moving, so you really had a great one, and it was just right after I had finished. But wow, I knew those had really popped because other people were noticing them too. So sorry, I got distracted on the whole how nice they looked, because it really it changes the whole way the Jeep looks to me. So anyway, apologize for that. But once you have it, I put the polish both on the polisher and on the rim at times. So I didn't want to bore you guys with showing you me cleaning. If you have questions about anything, hit me down below. I check and answer questions that are asked, so unless they're jerks, in which case I usually just give you a sarcastic remark. But the rim itself, I kind of went back and through, right? I usually always put some polish on the end of the rim, and you'll see that. Polishing it and just letting the drill go. Did the drill battery run out lots of times? Yup. I'm not counting that in the time, by the way, but it did run out a lot of times. And then sometimes I just kind of worked in some of the polish in the areas that I was trying to hit, and just physically put them on the rim and then put the drill down. The drill ball buster thing was always somewhat lubricated because I had already put a bunch of that polish on. So it's never dry, and I certainly wouldn't want you to try it dry. I think that would be really bad. So you always want some sort of lubrication for polishing, really, you know, for any time you're polishing, whether it's paint or rim. But so either make sure you put it on that or put it on both, or at least have it on the rim in the area that you're going to start to hit, so that you can kind of move that polish around, right? The barrel on these ones was super easy. If it had just been a big barrel, we'd have been done in minutes, right? Hit the barrel, hit the outside rim of the barrel, and then the, you know, those inside parts of the barrel. If that's how this rim was, you'd be done quickly. So if your rim is a simple pattern, you may do this job in no time at all. If your rim is like mine, and you're really trying to get into all those little nooks and crannies so that it looks good, it's going to take time. And I would just make sure that you have some sort of lubrication, and I am counting the polish as lubrication when you're working it. So I didn't use anything more than that. I thought of something like a Speed Shine from Dino, you know, just as a little bit of lubrication, but it felt like there was enough water and product in the ball buster to continue going. All right, so after polishing, right, then, you know, you're taking off that polish with, you know, a microfiber towel and really buffing it just to get that shine out. The shine, honestly, it just happens immediately. So you're working it, you're working that barrel, you polish that, and it's an immediate gratification. It's like, you know, thank you very much. Here's what you've worked so hard at. After that, the rim job really just helps kind of protect it and let you not have to worry about the rim and cleaning it this much, you know, on your next jobs, right? So the next time I clean the Jeep, I haven't washed it since, it's been a couple weeks, but the next time I clean the Jeep, right, it'll be some Diablo spray and just cleaning the tire off, rinsing it off and drying it. And I'm thinking that's it, that it should look just as good as it did right after polishing it. If it doesn't, I'll let you know, but that's my assumption. I'm really thinking that it'll work well that way. Just get that layer of protection, and maybe, you know, over some time, put that back on and go. So with how easy the Diablo Gel is on the rim, I don't think it'll take off a lot of the rim job, but again, time will tell. All right, well, thank you so much for hanging with us today and watching this video. It's a long process. Take your time, play some music, relax, don't worry about it. It took me, in terms of how I did it, did some on Saturday, did some on Sunday, and then waited until the next week to kind of finalize on one of the rims. My fingers were exhausted, I was exhausted. It was really hot the last 2 weekends here in Southern California, so working on the Jeep in the garage, you know, you're just pouring sweat. So it was a rewarding job in the sense that you got huge returns for the time spent, and then those returns last, right? Because the Jeep rims look fantastic. But it's a lot of time. Take your time. It's why this video honestly got delayed, was that the weekend I did it, it was really hot, too hot to film this. I'm filming this in the morning. And then it was too hot that next weekend. I mean, it was 107 or something crazy like that. So sorry guys, but I'm not sitting in the garage sweating and for a video. So, but do appreciate you guys coming to watch. So the next video that we are gonna have, I'm actually gonna ask for some suggestions. So I bought one of the big star decals for the hood, and I can't decide on where to place it. So the next video, I am gonna ask for your guys' help in terms of 2 places that I am considering placing it. Will I go with your suggestion? Maybe. You got a 50-50 chance. I'm only gonna give you 2 options, and I'm only gonna put it in 2 different places. So there's a good chance that if you say one of them, that you will be right and it'll look like I followed your directions. And there's also a good chance that you are wrong and it looks like I didn't. I'll probably go with some of the feedback, go with my own thoughts, obviously, and I am the tiebreaker because it's my TJ. So thanks again for joining. Hey, thanks again for all the new subscribers, really appreciate it. Thanks again if you've watched all the way through to the end. If not, I completely understand and you'll never see this, so I don't know who I'm talking to, but have a good one. Take your time on this job. Just know it takes a long time, and don't worry about it. The results are huge. You'll really enjoy them. Enjoy your TJs out there. And I know this isn't a mod, but keep modding.